Hello everyone and welcome to a special video. Today I'm gonna look at the game played by a legendary Soviet chess player who was one of the best attackers of his time. I actually played in his memorial tournament in Kazan, Russia multiple times. You can Google who Rashid Nezhmetdinov is, you can Google what the whole memorial tournament is about. I mean, I always enjoy playing there, and you know, and to see who we're playing for is even more important because you kind of play in those let's say Nishmitinov Memorial, Tal Memorial, but you don't really see the games. And today I'm gonna show you one of the most insane games you might ever see in your life. So e4, Rashid is playing with white pieces, his opponent responds with c5, and we have Sicilian defense on the board, and he plays d4, goes for the open Sicilian, c takes d4, knight d4, g6, and his opponent Oleg Chernikov selects Dragon Sicilian. So knight c3, bishop g7, bishop goes to e3, knight f6, bishop c4, now castles, and bishop b3. For Fischer fans, for Robert Fischer fans, you know that Robert actually ended up winning the game starting from this position where his opponent played knight a5. And maybe not here, maybe something was slightly different, but yes, I think this e5, and his opponent played knight a8 and blundered bishop f7. I think that's how the game was going, and then the point was king f7, knight s6, and the queen is trapped. King s6, there's queen d5, and checkmate was about to follow, and if d takes a6, king d8, and white are winning the chess game. So knight g4 was played. That's quite common idea. I actually played this position with white pieces myself. Now king g4 is passed, and after knight d4, the best choice is to go back to d1. That's how computer recommends these days. And I actually played this position. I played king d1, exactly king d1, and then takes, bishop goes to d4, trading bishops, and white generally have slight edge. But Rashid selects queen h4, and this queen h4 will have a huge role. I can't even talk because I'm so excited. Will be a huge motive here. Queen a5, castle, bishop goes to f6. And now, guess what? Guess what was played by white pieces? So, bishop f6, your queen is under attack. And Rashid is like, man, I mean, you will have a lot of weak squares if I remove your bishop from the board. And he's like, I don't care. I'm sacrificing my queen. So now if g takes f6, e takes f6, there's simple bishop d4, and there are a bunch of problems. Knight d5 is coming. So Oleg decided to play knight e2. So he was like, okay, I mean, probably that is a better choice. And knight e2 takes. E takes f6, and now knight goes back to c3, trying to go knight d5, bishop d4, bishop f6, and take all the pieces. So knight d5, now rook e4, knight f6, and white would probably win the game. So rook e6 is played instead to protect the pawn on f6. Now bishop goes to d4, trying to take it. So king goes to g7. And what is the next plan here? Like, how would you proceed in the following example? So here, once again, I mean, we just gotta continue attacking this f6 pawn. Of course, g4, I mean, you can play g5, and there's just nothing much. So rook a d1 is played. The idea is, of course, to play rook d3, rook f3, and try to put extra pressure on f6. d6 is played. We go rook d3, and after bishop d7, rook f3. So what computer says is that now you can already take on f6, and after rook f6, rook f3, king g8 is passed, and now rook f6, bishop s6. You probably have to take, and then take king c7, and play this position where, I mean, yes, white have an edge, but probably just because of, let's say, lack of pieces, attacking pieces for white, it might become a little bit more complicated to convert. So after rook f3, he's trying to take, and then so that he can take with check, and maybe he's not even trying to take for now. So bishop e5 was played, and bishop c3, attacking the queen. Queen has to go, and now knight f6 finally takes. Bishop e2. So I believe after rook f6, he never really wanted to play this. So rook d1, and then the position slowly collapses. So rook c8 is best. You know why? Because now black are trying to take, and now knight h5 is best, and then you kind of take the rook. So, I mean, you can see it's a chaos. If you have any questions regarding any lines that could occur in this game, let me know in the comment section down below. I'll give you my answers. So, knight f6, bishop e2. So, if bishop f1, that's kind of the first thing that comes to mind. There is knight g4. And that's kind of insane, because now, let's say king g8. There's knight h6, rook f7, bishop e6. I can show you this. Knight h6, king f8, rook f7, king 8, bishop e6. And probably black can simply resign. There probably were a couple of more ways to make it smoother. So bishop f1, what else? I mean, there is not much. So bishop e2 was played to attack this rook, to attack this rook. So knight h7 was played right now. And the idea is, of course, to take on f7. King goes to j8, and now rook h3. Rook e5 is again best, and now is being played, because you gotta make sure to block this diagonal. And now f4. I mean, the game itself is just mind-blowing. Imagine, this game was played in like 1950s, or I mean, I'm not even sure when it was played, but it was played more like, let's say, 80, 70 years ago. And the level of play is just unbelievable. Like, he plays f4, he's like, I don't care about my rooks, I don't care about my queens, you can take whatever piece you want and I'll still crush you. So king f1 was played, f takes e5 according to computer is slightly accurate, knight g5 was accurate as well. King f1, rook c8, finally he tries to, you know, take the piece on c3, but f takes e5 now would have been winning, just because rook c3, there is knight f6 in the, you know, in between move, and now king g7, rook h7, rook h8. I'm not sure if he was scared of something, but basically maybe he was scared of this. He couldn't see what he's going to do, but here there is rook d3. Maybe that's what he was kind of afraid of. He plays bishop d4, b5 is played, knight g5 first, rook c7. Now bishop f7 takes, and guess what? Ba-bam! Rook h8. That's a common tactic pattern now. The thing is, king h8, knight f7, knight d8, and the game is over. So now, of course, you don't take this way, because king g8, they don't have to take and then take. So knight f7 first, king h7, knight d8, and now white have two pieces for the rook, and of course a lot of pawns. Knight goes to c6, rook f4, king e2, and here Oleg Chernikov resigned. As far as accuracy goes in this game, it's 86.1 for white pieces, with two brilliant moves. First being queen f6, and the second being knight h7. I mean, just, I don't know, I mean, that's just a great game. That's the game for ages. Sometimes you look at those games played like 70, 60, 80, 100 years ago, and those guys are just destroying each other, making moves that not many people these days would make. I mean, those guys were not afraid of anything. Now we're more like, I want to keep my material, you know, I don't want to sacrifice, I want to, you know, beat my opponents relatively smooth, I don't want any action happening. But those guys, queen f6, knight h7, and that's over. So yes, I mean, what a fun game. Let me know any questions you might have. Let me know if you want me to analyze any further games of his, because he played a lot of interesting games. Maybe Mikhail Tal. Maybe we'll start with that one, with that interesting guy. But yeah, that's it for today. Let me know any questions you might have. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.